Welcome the viewers out there. As you know that the Big R Solutions, we are dealing with a number of things. Now, I still have to remind you that the Big R specializes on finance. That's what we do. But because money cut across, you find money everywhere. So there's also money in sport. So we then said we also have to deal with sport. And you'll see as time goes on, we'll also be dealing with musicians, celebrities, because there's a whole lot of issues around the issues of money, and people are unable to deal with their monies. But we want to give you news, content, so that you understand. And today I've got a special guest, Mr Sello Nduna. I've known Mr Sello Nduna for a while now, although over the radio and television. That's how I know him. And then I can tell you he's a very good commentator, to be honest. And then even if when he does his PR work, you could see that this person, you know, he's got the love of commentating. So he's the PRO for Bloemfontein Celtics. He's our special guest today. So we are going to talk to him and look at Bloemfontein Celtics, and then and start understanding what's happening, and then where are they hoping to go, what is the vision. Mr. Nduna, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks very much, and good evening to the viewers.
Yeah, all those viewers probably who wants to come to our show as fans, interact, any fans, whether it's international football or local football, you are more than welcome. Just go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and raise your hand, then we'll allow you. We are waiting one of the fans from Bloemfontein who really wanted to talk to Mr Sello Nduna because she is an ardent fan of Bloemfontein Celtics. So unfortunately, she seems to be struggling to get through. Mr Sello Nduna, like I indicated, the big R stands for all the positive R words in English, like reading, research, responsibility. In other words, we say take responsibility, resilience, relationship, results, review, reflect. We say if you apply all those positive R words, you'll be able to solve whatever problem. All right? And now we want to talk about Bloemfontein Celtic. But we want to talk to you first as the person, the communicator, because you as the communicator, you have to actualize those, one of the R words like relationship, create a relationship with other stakeholders. Now, firstly, I want to know, if viewers out there, they want to know, who's Mr Sello Nduna? Where did he start? Where did he study? What was his love? Was football his love? Or probably wanted to do something? Let me give you the opportunity, and then you say whatever that you want to say.
Well, thank you very much. Like I indicated earlier on to all the viewers, I was born, bred, battered, and sandwiched in Mangaung, meaning I was born in Mangaung, to be specific, at Pelenomi Hospital. I am the last born from the family of 5 kids, and I am the last one. Mm-hmm. And I have, the better part of my life, I've been in Bloemfontein. Mm-hmm. And it all started like any young boy, any young kid. You know, football became my first love. I started playing football from an early age, just like on the streets. And to up until where I am today, it actually started, I was staying at Motsweding location here in Bloemfontein. Mm. And that's where the whole thing started. Started attending school at Marang Primary School until standard 5 then. Well, currently, you know, they are being referred to as a grade.
Whatever grade.
5. Yeah. Yeah. And from Marang Primary School, I went to Lehaye Primary School to go and do standard 6, because Marang finished only with standard 5, and I had to move on to Lehaye Primary School to do standard 6. And from Lehaye Primary, I went to Kaelang High School to do my standard 7 until I matriculated at Kaelang High School.
Okay.
From Kaelang, I went to Kagisanong College of Education, still here in Bloemfontein, and that's where I did my teaching at Kagisanong High School, Kagisanong College of Education, and I started teaching at Tsoseletso High School from 1997 as an educator until the 30th of October 2018. And currently I am now with the Department of Education as a senior education specialist, specializing with school sports.
That's that. So you are working with Ndate December Mloi?
Yes, Ndate December Mloi is Muteo District Director, and I am with at the provincial office, but most of the time we meet, we chat, we talk, and we look at a number of issues. So I know he's actually not staying far away from where I'm staying. It's actually maybe 10 minutes walk from where I'm staying.
Let me tell you something that is very interesting. And that December Mloi, he is my former schoolmate. He was my junior schoolmate. I think when I was doing matric, he was doing standard 8. Remember, like you said, we were talking standards. We're not talking grades. As I was doing standard 10, he was doing standard grade, standard 10. But we have been friends for some time. Now, like I indicated, we are specializing in finance. So I'll talk to various radio stations. I'll talk to Lucedi. I talk to your radio station, Motsweding, give advice on finance, the SAFM, SABC television. So then he kept in touch. We always talk from time to time because money is a subject that I love most. Because I wanted money, like everybody else. We want to have money. So I then took it upon myself that I'm going to teach myself how does money work, and then so I'm teaching people about money. So we talk. Even this yesterday, I was talking to him, but we were talking about something else because we keep on from time to time. So then I understand where you come from, and then now, how did you join Celtics?
It's a long story. Maybe I need to say, when I was doing my final year at Kagisanong College of Education, I got to be informed that a community radio station is going to be opened in Bloemfontein. And it started exactly on the 1st of September. That was when I was doing my final year. And having had a dream to become a commentator or a radio announcer, I went for the auditions at the then Radio BBT. It was a community radio station in Bloemfontein, BBT standing for Bloemfontein, Botshabelo, and Tabancho. And I started there doing sports and some musical shows. And my understanding at that stage, even currently, I still believe community radio stations need to serve the communities that they are from. There's no use of a community radio station in Bloemfontein talking about something which is happening in Soweto. But personally, I believe community radio stations in Soweto will definitely do that. But wherever, so the community radio stations, personally, I believe they need to serve the communities that they are from. So I was with the Radio BBT doing sports programs, and I had to look at Bloemfontein Celtic, what is happening, and need to inform the communities around Bloemfontein. Little did I know that the then owner, who is the lifetime president, the late Dr. Rantla Petrus Molemela, was listening to my shows. At one stage, he went to my mom's place in phase 2. Fortunately, that stage, I was still in the kitchen, washing some dishes, and I could see through the window that he's coming in. And I said to my mom, please, tell Dr. Molemela I'm not at home. And I had to hide.
Yeah.
He came in and had a conversation with my mom and indicated to my mom that he wanted to meet me. There's something that he wanted to discuss with me. Then my mom told that I'm not at home. Though I was at home, then I said, such a person of Ntate Molebela's caliber coming to look for me.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it.
Yes.
But to cut a long story short, he came again. Then he indicated to me he would love me to come and assist with a PR exercise at Bloemfontein Celtic. And I said, why out of so many people me? Why me? Then there were so many people who could do the job better than me. He said, but Sello, I want you to come and help me. And up until today where I am, I'm still with Bloemfontein. And this is my 25th season with Bloemfontein Celtic Football Club.
I'll tell you one thing. Ntate Molebela was passionate about Bloemfontein 1. And Ntate Molebela was more a person who likes to unearth. So that is why he identified you. And when I say Ntate Molebela is the person who would like to unearth, remember Ntate Molebela is the one who brought us Mtawali. He's the one who
exactly
Michael Yeliwe. You named them, your Katango. He was that kind of a person. I'm told a story because all along we thought that it was only Jomosono who would go to Africa. They said that no, he would go to these African countries, your Zambia, your Lesotho, and scouting players. So now he was true to his belief. That is why he realized, like you are saying, it was an honor for a person of his caliber just to come to your home and say, I'm looking for Sello. So that for me shows how talented you are.
Well, thanks for the accolades. And I think it is well documented that Bloemfontein Celtic is the first team to go in Africa and to start bringing players to come and apply their trade in South Africa. He went to Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Lesotho. He would bring players, and when they come this side, he would definitely make sure that he also changes their surnames.
Exactly, to naturalize.
Exactly.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think because I knew you even before Celtics. I knew you now on Motsweding FM as a commentator. How did you join Motsweding FM?
Like I've indicated, that I started firstly with Radio BBT.
Yes.
Before then, I was a big radio fan. I used to listen to the likes of the gentleman who just retired at the end of last month, Obli J.R. Mutlu.
Yeah, he was my friend, JR. When he comes to Tembisa here, you'll search for me. He was my friend. Yeah.
I would listen to the likes of the late Cebo Manyapelo, Moloko Pagel Khaswe, who danced steady as a young kid. And I became fascinated about listening to a radio, people talking over our radio at home. And I wanted to actually break the radio and see who are these people talking.
Where
exactly? Where are they? And you have to check. And the likes of Oshebem Konyadite as well. So I grew up listening to those guys, and I remember my late cousin, Motlati Sitsiro. At that stage, I think I was still doing standard 3, standard 4. By then, he was attending at a boarding school in Tabancho, Albert Moroka. Every time during those days, we would visit my late grandmom, and he would tell us all these, fascinating stories about life at the boarding school. Then at one stage, he would imitate the radio commentators, and that's where I started falling in love with radio. But coming over to Motsweding FM, in fact, when I was doing my standard 10, I took a trip down to Mahikeng. It was during the Boputatswana era. during Radio Bob, Radio Mabatu. I applied, and the then station manager said to me, but Sello, at that stage, I was 17 years, and said, Sello, I understand you've got a love for radio, but I'm going to advise you to further your studies and maybe join the radio later, because looking at that age, like I'm saying, I was 17 years, and that's when, even after matriculating, I took a train with my mom going over to Johannesburg, Cleveland, after reading an advert on the daily newspaper to say they are going to host television auditions. And I went there and I did exceptionally well in terms of the auditions. The only thing that made me to come back to Bloemfontein was that I didn't have a place to stay. And it was during those difficult times. People got killed in the trains. The other option that I had was to stay at my auntie's place in Katlehong. But mom felt, she couldn't just leave me in Joburg during those difficult times. So I came back, absolutely doing nothing. But then still listening to radio. And at one stage, BBT was closed due to some financial difficulties. The very same thing that you are.
Community radio stations.
Then I stayed home. I was still teaching. I was still with Bloemfontein Celtic Football Club, and I got to hear that there were some radio auditions at Motsweding, and I took my family and I drove to Mafikeng. Got there. I still remember it was raining on the day, and there was a long queue of people going for those auditions. And I went in, got my chance. The minute I opened my mouth, I got to be informed later. That's when the then station manager said, "This is the voice that I want in Motsweding." And up until this year, where I'm celebrating 10 years with Motsweding FM.
Let me tell you something. We share some commonalities, myself and you. I'll tell you why. I was a teacher, and I was a DJ. You won't believe it. Playing at the nightclubs. You know Mingles in Bloemfontein?
Yes, I know it in Haida.
Yeah, Danny used to come to the club where I used to play in Joburg called Countdown. And then, Danny. He was the owner by then. Of Mingles, and then I used to play with a guy called Boogie Harry, was with Radio Metro.
Yes.
And then I used to play with Evidence Camp. Evidence Camp was my friend, very close. And then so Danny would come there. When I'm in Bloemfontein, I would go and groove at his place. There was this guy, what's his name? But apparently he's late, man. His name. He was also a good DJ, but I would also.
Are you not thinking about Pina Morgan?
Yeah, I think Pina. Yeah, and Pina. Yeah, we used to buy music at one place. Christos. Christos has been my friend. I introduced Christos to the black market, and then I met Vinny. I introduced Vinny to Christos. But I was a teacher, like I say. And then I happened to work. We started a community radio station in Tembisa, Voice of Tembisa. We are the people who started it. And at some point, I became a station manager. People like Panyaza Lusufi. Panyaza is the guy who recruited me to help them to start because I was also involved in politics. So I used to be, me and Panyaza were comrades, and Tulas were comrades. So they were deploying me. You know how ANC talk. Will deploy you, comrade. So I was deployed. But community radio station, like you are saying, then I could see, man, we were fighting over petty things. Then my wife said, you know what? I know you can do things. You don't need all these things. And I realized that I don't need this thing. I don't need to fight over nothing. I know Panyaza fought with me, Chief, you cannot leave. We deployed you, and I don't regret. Then I came and started here in my office, started the Big R, because I always wanted to have money. Started making research. How do people make money? Because they're just like me and you, Sello. They have 2 hands, 1 head, 2 feet, 24 hours. They don't have 25 hours or 26 hours, but they spend them differently. You know, so I'm saying we share the commonalities. And my relationship with Ndate Mlimela, my uncle used to be a successful businessman. And then he used to interact with Ndate Mlimela. And then my uncle has been a friend to Kaiser Mdau, Ivan Koza. Yeah, so we have some commonalities. So it was nice to get that story. And then me, I listened to you on Motsweding. I liked you there. Then when I saw that you are on also a PRO for Celtics, I was also fascinated, and I was saying, this guy is doing a very good job. So yeah, and that is Mlimela, I think, I mean, identified by that legend, that shows that you definitely had the talent. All right.
No, thanks.
Sello, I want us to talk about Bloemfontein Celtics now, because we have heard your story now. You know, one thing that excites me about Bloemfontein Celtics is the fact that Bloemfontein Celtics, you remember there was Bloemfontein Celtics, Mangau United, all right? They were like a yo-yo teams, you know, come down, up. And then there was also Welcome Real Heart, you know, Chipara Signalo, you know, you know, German Mnangana, Zambia Matolo, you know, when they come here in Joburg, and then we play them, we watch them at Orlando Stadium. Hey, those guys, hey, these guys, they're from the farms. Why they're giving us a hard time? Especially in Zambia. Your ASIM get, you know, Pirates had to rob him in to come to Pirates. So that changed. And I was very happy. You won the Men's State Cup. When was that year, by the way?
That was in 1985.
1985. And when we thought that, no, Celtics, they've got the momentum now. I don't know what happened. It went down again. So just relate during that time. Were you still part of Celtics by that time or not?
Well, the year won the Mr. Cup, no, I was just still a young kid, you know, a fan going over to the stadiums at the Johnson Bedile Stadium, you know, the railway. It was even before the now Dr. Molemela Stadium was open, which was known as Sisaramabodu Stadium.
Yes.
Yep. I was just, you know, a fan. Up until I went to high school, and I also managed to play for the reserve side. You know, we played alongside the Simon Hopanis, but those were the talented guys. You know, we couldn't be able to break into, you know, professional. You know, other one, we had to also focus on our studies. I joined Bloemfontein Celtic when the team was still coached by the late Ndate April Styles Pumo, Ndate Molemela. I've been through 3 owners now. I started with the late Dr. Rantai Molemela. Then Jamie Agosti took over the team, and he also, you know, asked me to stay with the team up until the now with Max Shabalala. Look, one of the things that, you know, we need to pride ourselves is that when you look at all the 15 other teams within the Premier Soccer League, I can count players who started, you know, playing professionally for Bloemfontein Celtic. All the other 15 teams, one could do that. But the biggest challenge that obviously we had to do maybe is the issue of where we are situated. Everybody would like to go over to Gauteng to go and play over there. And the other challenge obviously is the issue of, you know, trying to get a financial sponsor, because when you run a football team, you obviously need, you know, some finances backing so that you could also, you know, challenge for the players, because this market is in such a way that, you know, you need to compete. And but with the little resources that one would say, we're still, you know, keeping up there. And last year, the team was celebrating its 50th anniversary, and we kept it up by qualifying to go and play in Africa this season.
Brilliant, brilliant. Let me tell you something, what excites me. You guys, you are the only team that retain all their squad. How did you do that?
Look, we obviously said this also the other issue of getting players on loan, having to come. It actually, takes you 3 steps backward, because you would get those players on loan, come and play for your team, but the next season, their parent team would recall them to go back to their teams. And we said, you know what, for us to make sure that we start going forward as a team, start challenging for some silverwares, is to make sure that we produce our very own players. And we obviously have to look at our own development structures where we intend promoting players from. And I can safely say, in our squad this season, we've got about 11 boys coming from Mangaung. In other words, we can take a team, to go and compete with boys coming from Mangaung, because that's also the other thing with Bloemfontein Celtic Football Club, and the wish can happen with other teams, so that you also give the local talent an opportunity.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing. And then Keabetswe, I'm seeing he wants to join. I can see that. That's your fan. She's in Bloemfontein. Now, for me, that's an achievement. We're doing the other show. I was telling the guys that I was doing the show with and say, we can say whatever, because people were like complaining that people stay too long in their positions. And then I said, guys, for instance, they were saying people like Danny Jordan has been there for too long. People like Dr. Ivan Koza has been there for too long. Kise, can you hear me? I see that you have muted your mic. Just open up your mic and then just also switch on your camera so that we can be able to see you. Go to the microphone, unmute it, and go to the camera and mute it, if you hear me. They have stayed for too long. I said, one of the brilliant things that Dr. Ivan Koza brought was the whole thing of MDC. Yes, Kia, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
You're struggling, eh?
Yeah.
That's technology.
It was bad.
Yeah. Mr. Sello Nduna is your PRO. That's
Okay.
your fan in Mr. Sello Nduna. I'm sure she's got some question that she would like to ask. And then I'll allow her to ask questions. Kese, welcome to the show. And then I'm happy that you joined us so that we can be able. You had already found us. We're already talking. Now, and I was saying what Dr. Ivan Koza brought, this MDC with DSTV, it was a brilliant idea because it helps the team to tap. Remember, many teams, they don't have reserve teams anymore, like before. No. In the past, we used to have reserve teams, And then I know Dr. Kumalo. Dr. Kumalo, I grew up with him in Dube. He started playing for the reserve of Moroka Swallows. He was supposed to go to Moroka Swallows, Dr. Kumalo, before Bobby and his brother, they convinced Kaiser to bring him to Kaiser Chiefs, although his father was with Chiefs. So these days, we now the people who are not playing, no reserve teams, so MDC has helped. So are you guys being assisted by MDC as Celtics?
To be quite honest with you, like for this season only, we have promoted about 7 players from our MDC team. So the MDC is helping us quite a lot. You look at the number of players that we are having, the likes of Seppo Rikoto, he played also in our MDC. You look at the likes of Neo Billy Maema, the likes of Mangweni, they are coming, all of them, they played in our MDC. So it's a great league for us. I believe also for other teams, because you can also tap in there for a very young talent to come and, ply their trade within the DStv Premiership.
I'll tell you one thing. I've watched Celtics. You are playing a beautiful football. And
Yes.
I think that can be attributed to the fact that you retain your squad. Because this thing of chop and changing, it affects the rhythm. And that is why I'm saying I'm not worried. I can see on the log, you are number 2 from the bottom, all right? But that doesn't worry me much, because when I look at the log, I mean, all teams, they've played about 4 games, all right? Let me check the log quickly. They've played about 4 games, all teams. And then you also played 4 games. And then although you've got 1 draw, and then it's a question of teams that are on top, like Mamelodi Sundowns, they've won 3 games. So it's not bad. It's still early. Yes, of course, you need to pull up your socks, because you cannot allow a situation whereby you are left far back in the pack. But I'm optimistic that you'll do well. And
Yes, that's what we want to make sure that we start doing. The game this coming Wednesday against Leopards, it's a must win for us.
yes.
Because we also don't want to put under pressure. And the sooner you start collecting points, games are not easier. But a game on Wednesday against Black Leopards, they have just won their game this past weekend against Maritzburg, and it's a must win for us, so that we start also accumulating a few points before we go for the MTN 8 final.
Kese, as my special guest, do you have
Yes,
any
Mr.
question?
Chawadara.
Do you have any question that you'd like to ask Ndate Sello?
Mr. Sello, how are you doing?
I'm well, and you okay?
Yeah, like in Nalisel.
No, hello.
Yeah. Lamampela, yeah. No, I don't have any questions for now. I'm just Kabota for a team, like we in the MTN 8 final, and we hope for Regaizaya finally. Like we were on the Nedbank Final Cup and we didn't win. We lost against Sundowns. But then looking at the squad, we have a strong squad. We have players like Bondumiso Mabena, Bomzwanele Mahashi. They're doing well. And youngsters like Bongubeni, Joti, Potsani, they're doing well. So yeah, we just need to focus on the for now we can focus on the final, because we need that trophy to boost the team and also to the supporters. So we are 100% behind the boys and the team management and all the people involved. So yeah, we wish them all the best, and then the league games can follow after. So I think for now we can just focus on the MTN 8, and yeah,
As a belief, let me just remind you something. The last time we won this competition, it was known as the SAA Super 8. On the quarterfinals, we met a Soweto team, and we knocked them out. Semifinals, we met another Soweto team, and we just pushed them aside. And at the finals, we met a Pretoria team that we beat at Olen Park. And this season, quarterfinals, we met a Pretoria team. Semifinals, we met a Pretoria team. And in the final, we are meeting a Soweto team. So we are going to meet what we did a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ndate Nduna, you said earlier you need sponsor because you don't have sponsors. And I said the big R, we specialize on finance. Now let me tell you the problem that I have with us, Black people. We don't have a common cause. We do have common cause, but in areas that probably are not important. I know other nations, they support each other. And you know what they do? They don't bargain on a lot of money. There is a group that I know, it's for another race. Apparently, they contribute 200 rand a month each and every family. And there are 2 million. So that means every month they collect 200 million.
Mm-hmm.
And they utilize that money to strengthen their ideals. With us, black people, we have stokvels. But look at our stokvels. This is one thing that I always talk to people when I teach them about money. Yes, I'm not saying food is not important. We do stokvel, we buy food, and then we drink liquor. That's at the end of the year. But all that, where does it end? It ends in the toilet. It doesn't build anything. Now, I don't understand. I hear what you are saying. It's high time that we need to rely on ourselves. And I'm telling you, I'm going to link this question to something else. I observe Celtics very well. During the time of Ntatemoholo, your Kese and other people, they were not supporting. Ntatemoholo, struggled, he sold the team because he was not getting support. Agosti took it. The stadium was filled. Now Agosti is gone, again Celtic is struggling. Are we guys having a self-hate? What brings that? Let me ask Kese as a fan, what makes that? Maybe you guys have genuine concern why you don't want to do that. But I'm saying, even before you talk about sponsorship, why can't we ourselves, maybe 20 rand, let me put it that 20 rand. And Mr Sello Nduna, as a PRO, I'm going to come to you that are you having branches? What's happening with branches? Are people paying membership and so on? Kese, what do you want to say to what I've just said?
Okay.
Even if you don't have the answer today, because I'm going to host Celtics more frequently, I want you to think about it and start talking to some Celtic fans. Celtic cannot struggle while you guys are there.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I think we are the only people that can save our team. But then from that, I think, how can I put it? I think there are rumors. We believe in rumors, in actually believing what we see or know about our team. So I think rumors that are being created, I think, cause this kind of chaos in our team, and then we tend to get separated from what we love and believe in.
Ndadendun,
Yeah.
what do you want to say to what I've just said?
With regards to the other thing, you've said a mouthful, and which most of the time, particularly when you look at the football industry, I always say there are two industries that we need to preserve as the black people. Football is one of them, and the taxi industry is one of them. And we need to make sure that we support, but fortunately with us as Bloemfontein Celtic, this is what we are enjoying, and I would love it to go to other areas in terms of people supporting their very own. Because look, if you have somebody staying in Bloemfontein, staying in Tabancho, and not supporting Bloemfontein Celtic, supporting a particular team, the only way for those people to see that team is through Bloemfontein Celtic. If we can have a situation where Bloemfontein Celtic is no more, unfortunately, those people won't have an opportunity to do that. But I fully agree with the fact that we need genuinely come together and think about the ideas on how we can preserve this, because Bloemfontein Celtic Football Club is more than a football club, but it's a way of life in Mangaung, in the Free State.
I heard the General Secretary of the ANC, Ntate Makashule, after his court case, he said, ask Bloemfontein Celtics what I did to them. Let me tell you what I know about Ace. I don't know Ace, I've never met him. but this is what I was told, that ACE would not give anyone business who's not staying in the Free State. And I think that was a good thing. Initially, people were angry how now and let me tell you, if you don't do that, you are not building the region and make the region strong. You can say whatever you want to say. I know Makufe has been there for many years, but Ace Makashule made Makufe to be what it is today by taking it seriously. So maybe you can tell me, was the premier during that time very helpful to you guys?
Well, maybe I need to start it way back, with our very first premier, who is now the leader of COPE, Ndatimusiwa Taralokot. At one stage, there were some newspaper articles which were stating that Bloemfontein Celtic is about to be sold to a Limpopo businessman. And from that stage, the likes of Ndati Teralokota, the late Mewinki Direko, and all the other premiers, I need to be on record on this one when I say they have always been supportive towards Bloemfontein Celtic Football Club, because they are also quite aware that it's part of the business. And once we have Bloemfontein Celtic in the Free State, it does plays quite a good role towards the province itself. And that's why even when South Africa was bidding for the 2010 World Cup to come down to South Africa, the Bloemfontein Celtic supporters footage was used to convince the entire world, to convince FIFA for the World Cup to come to Africa, particularly to come to South Africa. So I believe also with that, you can't mention Bloemfontein Celtic Football Club without mentioning the support from the people around here, as well as from the supporters themselves.
Because, I'm trying to say, before we can look at MTN, Vodacom, your Nike, what are we doing ourselves? What are we doing ourselves? That's the message that I'm trying to send. Now let me go back to you, Ndate in London. Are you guys still having branches and branch meetings being held and so on? What's happening?
Well, at this stage, yes, branches are still out there, but currently there were some a bit of challenges that we are trying to iron out, so that things could also go back to normality and take our brand to where it belongs. I can safely say there are branches all over the country, around 9 provinces. We've got branches as far as in Cape Town. We have got branches as far as in Mahikeng, Northwest. We have branches as far as, in Gauteng. We've got branches in Tembisa. We have got a branch in Pretoria. So our main aim, surely after this COVID-19, is to go back to where we belong and start relaunching our branches and make sure that we have got, there are only 2 teams in the entire universe with vibrant supporters. The first team is Bloemfontein Celtic Football Club, and the second team, you will never walk alone, Liverpool. And I think those teams, we want to make sure that, we preserve that. Because all of us, we are all born Siwelele supporters. When a kid is born with his or her fist, bent like this, as an indication that we are all born Siwelele supporters.
I'll tell you why. If you go to England, because we learn from other people. In England, the people who are staying in Leeds, they favor Leeds.
That's why I was saying people should make sure that they support their local teams.
The people who stays in Manchester, well, unfortunately, in Manchester they are divided into City and United. But that's how, and that is why there's so much support. You go to Spain, same thing. People in Barcelona, they support Barcelona. People in Madrid, they support Madrid. So I think we need to bring that. I'm sure you guys also, you'll start now interacting. Remember now we have Zoom, we have Microsoft Team, we have Google Meet now. It's easy now, right? We don't have to drive all the way to Bethlehem, to Kwakwa. It can be done via Zoom. Let's talk about the issues of the team. What's happening? How can we revive? Let's talk about 1 rand, not even 2 rand. 1 rand. It will make a difference. I was telling you about this group that each and every family contribute. It's a must. They collect 200 million a month. Even before they ask assistance from outside. There's nothing wrong to ask assistance from outside. But what am I doing from home? All right? Now, like you are saying, playing black leopards. I don't know, you guys, are the players now divided, thinking about the finals or thinking about the league? What's happening? What's happening in the psyche of the players?
Well, currently, they're in a big predicament, I must say. On Wednesday, we are up against Black Leopards. And the very same Wednesday, 11 o'clock, just an hour before midnight, the other team will be flying out of this country, going over to Ethiopia and going over to DRC, where we've got a game on Sunday, the CAF Confederations Cup. Our main focus at this stage, we take each game as it comes. The main focus now is a game this coming Wednesday against Leopards, which I said it's a must-win for us. And after Leopards, we'll be focusing on the CAF Confederations Cup, the game on Sunday. And the Pirates game, the final game, yes, it is at the back of our minds, but you need to start with these games that are coming, unlike for us to lose focus of these other games that are coming, because they are also quite important. But the main focus now, if I need to directly respond, is the game against Leopards this coming Wednesday.
But I must be honest with you and say, I'm happy that you guys took the opportunity to go to CAF. I know some other teams, big teams like Kaizer Chiefs, at some point, they decided that no, they are not going to take it. It's an opportunity. I'll tell you why. Look at Mamelodi Sundowns. For them to participate in CAF, it became a different team. And they became good because you gain experience. Remember, experience is not about in the field of play only. It's also about the hardship, understanding that, in other parts of the world, these are the difficulties. These players, remember they are young. They need to undergo those things, pass the test of time. It helps them. It helps them in terms of character. So I commend you for doing that. But while we are still there, is it CAF going to contribute some financial assistance?
Well, what is currently happening as a team, you need to foot your bill up until, depending on how far we are going to progress on this competition. Because when we are going to host that team from DRC, you need to play them within a radius of 200 kilometers from the main city. But if you take them far, you need to foot their bill and make sure that you transport them. In this case, we are going to play them at Dr. Ranta Imelemela Stadium. So we will have to come in as well, because they are also exactly doing the same for this coming game on Sunday, where they are also going to take care of the other staffs. And when they come this side, we are also going to do the very same thing. And we would want to make sure that we progress as far as reaching the finals if it comes to a push.
Okay. Kese, take this opportunity. You are a Celtic fan. Otherwise, if you allow me to talk, I'll talk. Take this opportunity. Ask whatever question that you'd like to ask. You want to know more about the team.
As I said, we've got a strong squad. And then I would like to know, what are you as Celtic management do to keep the confidence and have maintained good relationship with the players, like going through the next matches and so. So I'd just like to know what you as the management are you doing, because you're doing a very good job, to be honest. You are.
Well, thanks very much, and also for the accolades. And while still on that, last week on Friday we just announced a sleeve sponsor from Itaú, and this week we'll also be announcing another partnership, and we are not going to rest up until we have a financial sponsorship that will also going to assist us quite a lot. But we also have got some bonus schemes for our players for each and every match they play. We have got something that we they are quite aware about it, and we always try to motivate our guys and always try to give them the very best. Even when we play away, we just came back from Cape Town this morning. Unfortunately we lost, but we need to keep the momentum going with our players, and also from time to time check with them, try to motivate them, and also even besides off the field, we need to make sure that we take care of our players so that they stay with the team. That's why the likes of Ndumi Somabena, like you indicated, there were about 3 teams which were after his services. But we said, we are not going to lose a player of Ndumi Somabena's caliber. And, your Debo Hopotsani, your Barakat and Palani, and the others, we said we are going to keep this squad and compete and make sure that we bring MTN 8 to our supporters.
Let me ask this one, it's a burning one. There were rumors that your players at some point, they were about to boycott because they were not getting paid. Their supporters, they wanted to, that there was a rumor that is why they were not going to the stadium, because they feel that the players are not paid. Is that true? Because I asked this question. I said, before you come in, I asked this question. I said, if really they are not paying players, why did they kept the players? How can the players remain even if they are not getting paid? But probably you'll answer it better.
I think, we are living in a country where there are sometimes, some lot of rumors caused particularly by the members of the media. I mean, yes, there was one stage where the players' sign-on fees were delayed by a day because of different banks that they are using. Instead of, the money reflecting on their accounts, say on the 1st of this month, but others, reflected a day, if not 2 days. But we, as the team, as the management, we have never, paid player salaries late. Yes, there was that stage where their sign-on fees, some of them were paid a day or 2 later, which is a fact. But the other question that I've always been asking myself, why don't people ask themselves about if it's really true? Why are these players still playing the way they are playing, still fighting the way they are fighting? And I said, it's unfortunate, and we are not going to be able to respond to each and every rumor. But there are quite a lot in the media which is happening. Some, most importantly, some are not true. There was one stage, if I need to cite this as an example, at one stage, when Litronolo Siema was still our coach, there was a media report to say Siema was paid 1,000 rand, and which was not the case. The journalist even wrote, an apology. But I said, unfortunately, that apology is going to absolutely do nothing because the damage has already been caused, and which was not true.
And remember, when they come with this sensational news, it makes the front page, bold headline.
And the headline.
Yeah. And then the apologies there, inside the page 3 or page 4, small like this, which is not fair. But maybe, like I said, Sello, now you know now because there's technology now. Look, I'm talking to you in Bloemfontein, Kese in Bloemfontein. Guys, start engaging fans. Use Zoom, guys. Use Google Meet. Use, the more you talk. Remember, I said one of the positive R words is relationship. What this relationship is all about? Relate. You relate. Now you are telling us that it was only a day or two. All right. Can you imagine had the fans got that information early that no, it was just a matter of different banks a day or two. Relating that information. So I'm just giving you a homework. Start working on it. And we'll try, even ourselves, using our platform and give you an opportunity. Share whatever that you want to share, and then, yes, I know that we are still very young, but we'll grow as time goes on. I was groomed by an old man, but he's late now, Dr. Bikicha. I don't know whether you know him. He was a seasoned journalist. When I befriended him, listen to this. He was 77 years old. And then I was 35 years when I befriended him. That's the guy who groomed me how to deal with the media. So Brad Dog used to tell me there is no bad publicity. Any publicity is publicity. And he would say, go anywhere, whether it's a pamphlet, as long as publicity. If one person gets that pamphlet, one person, he's gonna share with other people. So please, guys, relate as much as you can, because we want to give you the platform here and get all this myth out of the way, and so that people can understand that we are trying our best to make things happen. I don't know, Sello, you want to say something? We are about to close now. Any information that you want to give to the supporters? I'm giving you the opportunity to say anything that the supporters need to know.
Thanks very much. In our closing remarks, firstly, we want to take this opportunity and thank the Big R for the opportunity presented to us, and assure the Swedele supporters that we are not going to rest until this team goes back to where it belongs. And I'm taking also this opportunity to inform them that come the 12th of next month, December, MTN8 is coming down to Bloemfontein, and we are going to compete. I know we haven't started well this season with the 4 games played so far, playing 1 draw and losing 3 games, 2 away games against Swallows, against Cape Town City. We lost at home against Orlando Pirates. But starting from this Wednesday against Black Leopards, things are going to turn, and we are going to do our level best. And also in Africa, we are going to do our level best, and we're still appreciating their unconditional support.
Yes, sir. What do you want to say to Suwelele fans, just like you? What do you want to tell them?
The only thing is that we want to wish the team all the best with the upcoming matches, and we hope to at least get a point, if not 3 points, if we're playing away from home. And then with the CAF that we're playing on the weekend, I wasn't even aware that we're playing on the weekend. I wish them all the best, and I know they're going to do their best. To our Celtic supporters, the only thing that we need to do now is to rally behind our players. They need our support more than ever. And I know and then we wish them all the best. I know that we can do it with all the management and the technical team giving the players the support.
Don't forget what I said, Kise. Just contribute 1 rand.
Yes.
It will make a difference.
So, Mr. Nduna, when can I get my goodie bag?
We'll have to arrange for that. We'll arrange for that.
Okay, we'll do that.
We'll arrange that.
Okay.
Goodie bag. I also expect one.
Yeah.
When you come to Joburg in Nduna, we'll invite you to our studio. And then Friday, I don't know, we can have a date with you just for 5 minutes to tell us what's happening for the weekend, and also relate what happened the game of Black Leopards, if you are available. And as a reminder again, don't forget on the 30th, I requested Maduka and Mabena at 7 o'clock. It will be Tuesday. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. I've noted that.
7 o'clock at this time.
Yeah, but I'll just have to check our training schedule, because sometimes we've got the afternoon, the morning training session, afternoon. Even sometimes we've got the evening training session. Like it is happening today as I'm talking to you now. The team is still training at Dr. Ranta Imulimana Stadium tomorrow as well. But I think we will finalize that offline.
Okay, all right. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate. Suwelele Samasela, you used to make us proud. You know, everybody would show Suwelele everywhere in the world. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.